Europe is the values of the Talmud, the Jewish sense of personal responsibility, of justice, and of solidarity.
These crimes committed by the European Union against the European peoples are directly in violation of the 1948 UN Genocide Convention, Article 2. Kalergi suggested Beethoven's hymn as the European Union's national anthem, and he was very active with the design of the EU logo, which contains 12 stars, which symbolize the 12 tribes of Israel. The logo was finalized by the Jew Paul M.G. Levy. The European Union Parliament building in Strasbourg was modeled after the Tower of Babel, Hebrew name for Babylon. The building symbolized anti-Christianism, dependence on power, the destruction of global human diversity, and a gradual introduction of tyranny.
In our school books, we are taught that the evil Germans wanted to genocide all the Jews. Ironically, there were no written German plans to exterminate the Jews, but on the other hand, there were many Jewish plans to exterminate the Germans. Jewish supremacists were openly calling for the genocide of the Germans. This was mainly the reason why the National Socialists viewed it as their mission to save the German people.
But what is the motivation for the demographic genocide of the European people that we all can see around us today? Why is it necessary for a specific group of people to destroy the racial and cultural makeup of an entire continent and race of people? The answer to this can be found in the following disturbing plans. Baruch Levy stated in response to Karl Marx in La Revue de Paris, the Jewish people as a whole will become its own messiah. It will attain world domination by the dissolution of other races, by the abolition of frontiers, the annihilation of monarchy, and by the establishment of a world republic in which the Jews will everywhere exercise the privilege of citizenship. In this new world order, the children of Israel will furnish all the leaders without encountering opposition. The governments of the different peoples forming the world republic will fall without difficulty into the hands of the Jews. It will then be possible for the Jewish rulers to abolish private property and everywhere to make use of the resources of the state. Thus, the promise of the Talmud will be fulfilled, in which is said that when the Messianic time is come, the Jews will have all the property of the whole world in their hands. The Jewish writer Israel Sangwil was a Fabian socialist and advocate of world government. He was very supportive of the Bolshevik Revolution and had close links to Jewish banking families such as the Rothschilds and the Schiffs. As early as in 1908, Sangwil coined the term melting pot when he wrote the famous play that premiered in Washington, D.C., in the heart of American political culture. The well-known term melting pot means the mixing of different races and cultures into one monolithic group, forming the new world and the new man. The play described an America in which all races and cultures are blended into a new people. But of course, Sangwil was an ardent Zionist and disapproved of Jewish intermarriage. The more blended everyone else is, the less organized and ethnocentric and anti-Semitic they will be. Thus, no one would know these the ethnocentric Jews. Blending all people into a giant mishmash in all white countries was the idea planted by this play that appealed to many influential persons. When the melting pot opened on Broadway, it was critically praised by the globalist press and publicly praised by Teddy Roosevelt and Churchill. In reality, it is what multiculturalism was intended to be, the mixing of non-European populations with Europeans in European nations, with the intention of mixing the Europeans out of existence. It means the final solution for the white European people. After having conquered Christian Russia and turned it into a superstate Soviet Union, they would start the project of doing the same thing with Europe. National sovereignty and homogeneity of the European nations would have to be eliminated before international communism could be implemented. In 1922, Richard Nicholas von Coudenhove-Kalergi founded the Pan-European movement. the ground of what we now refer to as the European Union. His ideas were the guiding principles behind the founding of the European Union. Very few people know that Kalergi explicitly designed the genocide of the Europeans through flooding Europe with migrants. His goal was to create a Europe without ethnic Europeans. Just like the Jewish Bolshevik Revolution, his movement was also financially backed by the Zionist Jewish capitalist bankers such as Rothschild, Baruch, and Warburg. The plan is no more than a supremacist strategy to outnumber and genocide the low birth rate, passive, ethnomasochistic, self-loathing Europeans out of existence. Kalergi's goal was to destroy distinct cultures and genetic uniqueness and replace them with automized, rootless individuals. European immigration would be the first step in creating a future world government. From his book Praktischer Idealismus, Practical Idealism, came the concept now commonly called the Coudenhove-Kalergi Plan. 2 points can summarize this plan. Europeans must mix with Arabs, Africans, and Asians into a mess which Kalergi describes as a Eurasian Negroid race. The only exception for the planetary race biological experiment are of course the Jews, as Kalergi considers to be Europe's intellectual upper class. Taking from his book Practical Idealism, Kalergi states, "Man will in future be of mixed race. Today's races and classes will gradually disappear as a result of the elimination of space, time, and prejudice. The future of Eurasian Negroid race will remind you of ancient Egyptians and replace the diversity of races and the diversity of individuals. Instead of destroying European Jewry in Europe against her will, refined and educated these people, and through this artificial process pushed them into their future role as the leading nation." Bolshevism constitutes a decisive step towards this purpose, where a small group of communist spiritual aristocrats govern the country. The general staff of both are recruited from Europe's spiritual leader race, the Jews.